What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. That's right, we're already doing it again. Fucking awesome. So cool.
When this whole thing ends, guys, don't forget about me. Okay?
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Listen, if you came to my video, I need you to stop right there. I need you to stop what you're doing, and I need you to watch this, okay? Just give me a couple minutes of your time. And listen, if you follow me, you already know what to do. Watch to the end, share it, pass it on. Okay, so listen, if you're new to my page and you haven't ever seen me before,
I like to say that if you're seeing me, you're having the worst day of your life.
When you ask me about, like, the attack in the U.S. over the holidays, you're gonna have to be more specific. I mean, are you talking about the attack a couple of days before Christmas, when a woman was set on fire on the New York subway? Is that what you're talking about? Or you're talking about the guy who got pushed in front of the train, the subway train, on New Year's Eve day? Is that what you're talking about? Or you're talking about the mass shooting on New Year's Eve in Illinois, or the shooting in Mississippi, or the shooting in Ohio, or the shooting in Chicago? Or you're talking about the mass shooting in New York on New Year's Eve? Or is it the guy who drove his car into a crowd in New Orleans? Or is it the Tesla truck that blew up in Las Vegas? Which one are you talking about? I'm gonna need to know which one of these acts of wanton violence, which one of these acts of wanton violence is the one that interests you? Which one of these bothers you? I mean, I can guess. But for anyone who genuinely condemns violence, who genuinely detests, and who genuinely does condemn indiscriminate violence against innocent people, well, then you're going to have to explain to me the selectivity of your horror. Because you don't look like a people, actually, that's horrified by violence, frankly.
Let's stop doing everything for money and validation. Let's make something cool, huh? Come on, man!
If you worship Jesus, you're worshiping Lucifer.
What the fuck does that even mean?
telling the truth is like not wearing deodorant. It's inconsiderate, and it means that you don't care. It means that you don't have any regimen. People have to be kept in the dark. They have to be lied to and manipulated. You can't just around with a lie here and there. You got to be constantly lying all the time. You got to create a world.
And now, the following message. Let's all love Lane. 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 Lane.
There is no such thing as a gay Christian. You know, the same way you cannot claim yourself to be a fornicating Christian or a murdering Christian. You cannot claim an identity of Christ and an identity of the devil at the same time. There's a lot of people right now who say, you know, I want to follow Jesus, but they don't want to follow the Bible. And if you're claiming to be a follower of Jesus Christ, you also have to come under subjection to the word of God. And so you can't say that you're a gay Christian. There's no such thing. You can't claim something demonic and divine at the same time.
Well, I like to respect because I am a gay Christian.
I mean, you can say that, but at the end of the day, we got to go back to the scripture. We got to go back to what the scripture says. You know, the Bible says, let those who profess the name of Christ depart from iniquity. It doesn't say condone iniquity. And at the end of the day, my brother, you will stand before God. You will stand before Jesus. And I say this in love. You will stand before Jesus one day. And we, what Brother Marcus is doing, you know, what many others are doing, we're warning you that you are going down a wrong path, and you will stand before Christ one day, and you won't be able to say, Lord, give me one more chance. Lord, no, give me another chance. God, I'll get it right. No, we're telling you right now. You know, you are not a Christian. You are not a follower of Jesus because you do not follow the ways of God. And I'm telling you that in love. You have to come under subjection to what the Bible says. You can't say you love Jesus and you love sin at the same time. Jesus said, those who love me will obey my commandments, not reject my commandments. So you have to come under subjection to the word of God, my brother.
First of all, strong words from this 24-year-old brother right here. And he, listen.
You set me up.
Today you will be in paradise with me.
But I'm going to put that on the back burner for now. And I want to talk to you people out there, you people who live down here in the South, in the good old South portion of the United States, okay? I want to talk to you, and I want to help you. Every week, I'm going to be coming on here, on this station, and I'm going to give you little tips about how you can better your lives and how I can bring you up from the level that you're in right now and bring you up from the squalor that you're living in, the gutter and the garbage that your lives are.
I thought he was trash himself.
I have to tell you this, and you may think I'm nuts if you want to, but this is the truth. Either these men are following the book of Revelation, the book of Revelation as it is in the Bible. Mm-hmm. They're either following it, just like a plan, and bringing the prophecies in there to pass, to manipulate and control those who believe in those prophecies and neutralize them, so to speak. In other words, if this is written in the Bible and God has ordained it, who am I to resist? It must come to pass, so I'm not gonna try to stop it. Okay. What a perfect way to neutralize the opposition right off the bat. Or there really is a God, and what he said was going to come to pass is coming to pass. And I named this, Behold a Pale Horse, from chapter 13 of the book of Revelations. The fourth horseman of the apocalypse is the pale horse. And I looked, and behold a pale horse, and his name that sat upon him was Death. And hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with the beasts of the earth. And that is taking place now today. The fourth horseman is riding across the world now.
And then when the man comes into the lodge, he's received on the point of a sharp instrument, piercing his naked left breast. And they say that as this is an instrument of torture to your flesh, so should the recollection of it be to your conscience, should you ever violate your secrets in Freemasonry. This is an intimidation tactic that's used even in satanic rituals. Freemasonry sets the tone early right away that this is a secret organization.
I intend to resign as party leader, as prime minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process.
Now, I'm not slow, I'm fast. I'm your driver tomorrow. I'm driving.
You know this ain't no 10-second race.
I got nothing but time.
Dollars.
Let's go. Wait. I gotta start the song over.
The fuck?
I'll pick up.
Dollars.
Mama had to cater for the coupe that we rode at the school on the way to pot pies.
What in the world is going on?
My whole campaign is predicated on removing the Jewish supremacists from control of our country, from making it so that our politicians are no longer beholden to Israel, but rather beholden to the American people. I think that they should be removed from power to the point where their representation is proportional to their percentage of the population. And I showed up, and I'm the leading candidate according to the last poll, and they ejected me. And they ejected me because I won't serve Israel. question is, why aren't you allowed to criticize Jews, and why do they control all of our key institutions?
So how do you let someone know that you're a master mason if they can't read? Well, the answer is simple. You walk into the job site, you say, I'm a master mason. You can either use some of these little handshakes, or you can simply do this. You go like this, and the guy knows you're a master mason. And that's all there is to it. You got the job. Just as good as a dues card. Now here's another question. It's more contemporary. Let's say your boss is a mason. Let's say that you're up for a promotion, and the guy that's competing with you for that promotion is a Freemason. Who do you think is going to get that job? I'll give you a clue. It ain't going to be you. Another thing that Masons do is they use the lodge to network. And this is especially the case with doctors and lawyers. Because doctors and lawyers, it used to be, their codes of ethics would not allow them to advertise. I know all of you are probably sick of seeing commercials for lawyers now. But, you know, back in my day, when I was, say, maybe 20, 25 years old, lawyers were not allowed to advertise. And so the only way they could advertise was through the lodge or through similar fraternal organizations. They would develop networks, and that's how they would get referrals.
Now this may seem remote and abstract to you, but I'm going to specify one particular common case. Some of you may be offended, but I say this in love because I know it to be true. There is a very common covenant group, a secret society that prevails throughout the English-speaking world, which is Freemasonry. And if you are involved in Freemasonry, you are under a curse. Not only you, but your family and your descendants. And I speak this from experience. Ruth and I have encountered this. We've dealt with it. We've come to the root of it. Freemasonry is a false religious system. Whatever you may say, it's not a secret. That's bluff. The main ceremonies of Freemasonry are known and have been published by people who are not Freemasons. To take simply one example, the Royal Arch degree acknowledges a God whose name is Jah-Bul-On, J-A-B-U-L-O-N. Jah is short for Jehovah, Bul is short for Baal, and On is short for Osiris. And any system of worship that combines the true God with Baal and Osiris is abomination in the sight of the Lord, no matter who practices it, even if it be an Anglican bishop or the Archbishop of Canterbury, who previously was a Freemason, not the present one. It makes no difference. God is no respecter of persons. We have seen the most terrible consequences in lives and families because of this.
The Bush administration will allow National Security Advisor Condoleezza Rice to testify publicly before the 9/11 Commission.
For President Bush, it was a dramatic reversal.
I've ordered this level of cooperation because I consider it necessary to gaining a complete picture of the months.
And even the president and vice president agreed to meet with the commission, but with a catch. They insisted on meeting together behind closed doors and not under oath.
President, why are you and the Vice President insisting on appearing together before the 9/11 Commission?
Because the 9/11 Commission wants to ask us questions. That's why we're meeting, and I look forward to meeting with them and answering their questions.
Why you're appearing together rather than separately, which was their request?
Because it's a good chance for both of us to answer questions that the 9/11 Commission is looking forward to asking us, and I'm looking forward to answering them. Let's see.
We have to have one story, so I'll say part, and if I get it wrong, hedge a little bit and give me the next.
I want to thank the chairman and vice chairman for giving us a chance to share views on on different subjects, and they had a lot of good questions, and I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I took the time.
What topic did the commissioners want to spend most of the time on?
It's probably best that I not go into the details of the conversation.
The president and vice president of the United States, don't you think they should be able to stand up and speak their own words?
They should go under oath.
They should be, yeah, in public.
Don't you think that the families deserve to have a transcript or to be able to see what you
Adam,
said?
you asked me that question yesterday. I got the same answer, yeah.
Human beings in a mind.
Let the record show.
I do not know why the hive chose me, but it did. And I think that it always had. The song is loud and beautiful, and I am so very afraid. There is a wasp's nest in my attic. Perhaps it can soothe my itching soul.
We're standing on the edge of a new reality.
Fuck the American government. What have they done for me? What have they done for my children?
Do you really
Besides violate my rights?
Do you really not know the answer to that?
Come on, man. It was the CIA that put me in prison. What in the world do I owe the CIA?
It was your decisions that put you in prison.
It was the CIA's law-breaking that put me in prison.
It was your choice to highlight the CIA's law-breaking to media that put you in prison.
There we go. So we're in agreement then.
Your children's, they live every day under the protection of the United States. They have all the benefits of American citizens. You get to enjoy. You're here on an American podcast. You flew on an American airline. You're staying in an American protected hotel.
What do you think my children's memories are?
The police officers driving around the streets right now, all of these people are contributing to the freedoms that you have.
Oh, wow.
All of them.
Wow.
And you're sitting here saying...
You're a true believer.
I'm a true believer in the fact that we have to serve the American dream. We have to serve the American purpose. That's what we're here to do.
And that's exactly what I'm doing by opposing.
How dare you, sir? How dare you? No, how dare you? No, how dare you? How dare you? No, how dare you? You dare to damn me? How dare you? How dare me when I how dare you? You big peepee head.
Do you have any idea how crazy you are?
You mean the nature of this conversation?
I mean the nature of you.
You going to shoot me? That depends. Do you see me?
You wanna know what I'm good at? I'm good at killing people. Like I know there's more to me than that. Maybe there's not. It is all good.
So now I'm going to bring up something that's going to offend a lot of people. I have a friend. His name is Mari. Mari is Jewish. He's a successful Jewish banker. He lives in New York. And I've known Mari for over a decade. We've done business together. Good guy, respectable guy. He revealed to me, and I did the diligence on it, and this was one of the most shocking things that I ever realized in the world of business. And I have had moments in which I have actually considered bringing on a Semite into my team so I can take advantage of this financial opportunity. The financial opportunity is this. If you are a Semite, you can get 0 interest loans at banks anywhere in America. You just have to tell them. They will go to the back. They will show you, they will bring out a folder, a PDF of how you, as a Semite, can get a loan for your house, a car, extraneous things that you need, a boat, a business, for 0 interest.
Really?
Look it up.
What the fuck does that even mean?
As the Talmud says, I don't give a shit what he says, okay?
And they say if we'll only... Let's have a moment of silence for every man who tried to turn a hoe into a housewife. Okay, bow your head with me, please.
This is unreal. Isn't this disgusting? Why doesn't anybody contact the president? Why is he letting this happen to us?
Because corporate America is shoving something down your throat and making you believe it because that's what they want you to believe. I mean, guys, it's about finding out who you are. I mean, you gotta tune in, man. You gotta tune in. You know, and don't be afraid to let the experience find you.
are some of many admissions by Jewish leaders over the years, confirming the Talmudic dream of world control.
Max Mandelstam at the World Zionist Congress, 1898. The Jews energetically reject the idea of fusion with the other nationalities and cling to their historical hope of world empire. Morris A. Levy, Secretary, World League of Liberal Jews, 1946. The only true path to follow to gain real peace and honest government is through Judaism, and the Jewish people can and will lead the people to lasting peace. The promise of Jehovah for the Jewish people to rule the world and for the Jews to hold high places in world government has arrived.
Keep your damn mouth shut.
There it is. There it is.
Just shut up.
Here's the thing about time. If you can't make the most out of any given moment, you don't deserve a single extra second.
Load up the Pro Tools and press 3. Studio filled with Jack in the Box and Pepsis. Watching War Star videos, not the SBs. Laughing at beat pump or stomach turning. I get up and proceeded to write something. Absol in the corner, mumbling raps, fumbling packs of Blackie Mal.
The Encyclopedia Judaica tells us the communist movement and ideology played an important part in Jewish life. Individual Jews played an important role in the early stages of Bolshevism and the Soviet regime. The great attraction of communism among Russian and later also Western Jewry emerged only with the establishment of the Soviet regime in Russia. Communism and support of the Soviet Union thus seemed to many Jews to be the only alternative, and communist trends became widespread in virtually all Jewish communities. During this period, intelligence services of the Western powers were abuzz with reports of Jewish control of the Bolshevik Revolution. American intelligence from Siberia reported that of 384 commissars, more than 300 were Jews. The Bolshevik movement is and has been, since its beginning, guided and controlled by Russian Jews. Jews predominate in local Soviet government, anti-Jewish feeling growing among population. 50% of Soviet government in each town consists of Jews. British intelligence reveals the same pattern. There is now definite evidence that Bolshevism is an international movement controlled by Jews. Bolshevik leaders did not represent Russian working classes, most of them being Jews. And Dutch intelligence. Bolshevism is organized and worked by Jews who have no nationality and whose one object is to destroy for their own ends the existing order of things. Here is a photo of the first People's Commissariat. From left to right are Uritsky, Trotsky, Zinoviev, Sverdlov, Kaganovich, all Jewish.
Hey, to the death of Lex Friedman! Hey! Cheers. Cheers.
Digital silence, digital yell, digital heaven, digital hell, digital start, digital end, digital birth, digital death. This is the answer to the question. This is the sound of the truth. This is the answer to the question. There is nothing you can do.
That's a lie. That's all a big lie. That's a lie.
You never earned anything. God, you are a self-righteous prick. The only reason you're in studio band to begin with is because I told you exactly what I'd be asking for in Nassau.
Yeah, no, I'm in studio band because I'm the
Hey,
best
why don't
player.
you just back
Hey,
off,
yo,
bro?
fuck off, John Utah. Turn my pages, bitch.
You cannot give me any advice.
You can help me. You can support Donda. You can cut a check. You can help me build some infrastructure. But I have the ideas. No one older than me has a better idea than me because I'm the only 36-year-old me.
I showed people that I understand how to make perfect. You know, dark fantasy could be considered to be perfect. You know, I say, I know how to make perfect, but that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to crack the pavement and make new grounds, you know, sonically and society, culturally.
That's not fair. You gotta tell them I can do this.
It wasn't their decision. You won't. It's a leap of faith. That's all it is, Miles. A leap of faith.
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen.
Don't wash the mouth. Wash the hands.
Got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power.
Hey.
Getting unlonely, and you're like, I gotta fix my loneliness. What's gonna happen is you're gonna go on Discord, and you're gonna get groomed into taking female hormones, and you're gonna find or you're gonna find a bunch of other lonely guys who are like, yo, I'm lonely just like you. Have you ever read the Ted Kaczynski manual? Want to be not normal in 2 years? Here's the chat room.
Now, if we want to know about the Jesuits, we have to go back into history. And the Jesuits have probably caused more turmoil on the planet than any other organization ever known to man. They have been banned by virtually every single country where they have ever operated, including the Catholic ones. There are very few that didn't ban the Jesuits, and they would always come back and pick up the pieces of a country that lay destroyed and writhing after they dared to cross this organization. The Jesuits, throughout Christendom, Protestantism was menaced by formidable foes. I'm going to read you quite a few quotes tonight. The first triumphs of the Reformation past, Rome summoned new forces hoping to accomplish its destruction. At this time, the order of the Jesuits was created the most cruel, unscrupulous, and powerful of all the champions of popery. Cut off from earthly ties and human interests, dead to the claims of natural affection, reason and conscience wholly silenced, they knew no rule, no tie, but that of their order, and no duty but to extend its power. The gospel of Christ had enabled its adherents to meet danger and endure suffering undismayed by cold, hunger, toil, and poverty, to uphold the banner of truth in the faith of the rack, the dungeon, the stake. To combat these forces, Jesuitism inspired its followers with a fanaticism that enabled them to endure like dangers and to oppose to the power of truth all the weapons of deception. There was no crime too great for them to commit, no deception too base for them to practice, no disguise too difficult for them to assume. Vowed to perpetual poverty and humility, it was their studied aim to secure wealth and power to be devoted to the overthrow of Protestantism and to re-establishment of the papal supremacy. When appearing as members of their order, they wore the garb of sanctity, visiting prisons, hospitals, ministering to the sick and the poor, professing to have renounced the world and bearing the sacred name of Jesus, who went about doing good. But under this blameless exterior, the most criminal and deadly purposes were often concealed. It was a fundamental principle of the order that the end justifies the means. By this code, lying, theft, perjury, assassination were not only pardonable but commendable. when they served the interests of the church. Under various disguises, the Jesuits worked their way into offices of state, climbing up to be counselors of kings and shaping the policies of nations. This comes from that classic Great Controversy. And history has borne it out. Here is a quote from 1816 of John Adams writing to President Jefferson, and he says, "Shall we not have regular swarms of them here, in as many disguises as only a king of the gypsies can assume? Dressed as painters, publishers, writers, and schoolmasters, if ever there was a body of men who merited eternal damnation on earth and in hell, it is this society of Loyolas." That's pretty straight, isn't it? This is history. This is history, and you can check the line through history and see the blood that flowed. And who was always behind it? The Jesuits. Another form of Osiris, he is the god of death. He's the god of the dead. But Jesus says, I am the God of the living. I am not the God of the dead. I'd rather serve the God of the living. The SS was organized by Himmler according to Jesuit order principles. The rules of service, spiritual exercises prescribed by Ignatius Loyola constituted a model which Himmler strove carefully to copy. Absolute obedience was the supreme rule. Every order had to be executed without comment. Every single statement is being read from a reputable source. Again, in that wonderful book, The Great Controversy, we get an idea of the Jesuits. Throughout Christendom, Protestantism was menaced by formidable foes. The first triumphs of the Reformation past, Rome summoned new forces hoping to accomplish its destruction. At this time, the order of the Jesuits was created. Notice what this quote says. The most cruel, unscrupulous, and powerful of all the champions of popery, cut off from every earthly tie and human interest, dead to the claims of natural affection, reason, and conscience, wholly silenced, they knew no rule, no tie, but that to their order, and no duty but to extend its power. We don't have to read the whole quote. But they made it their business to destroy Protestantism. The Jesuit order therefore stands before us as the embodiment of a system which aims at temporal political domination, and that over the whole world. You will say to me, surely China will not be subject? Well, we already read a quote by the Jesuit general himself where he says he controls China. Who controls communism? The Jesuits created it, and therefore they controlled it. They practiced it in their South American examples, where they practiced it before they instituted it. Very interesting. This is Count von Hernsbruch, 1911, German noble and ex-Jesuit, who says this very thing. At what then do the Jesuits aim? According to them, they seek the greater glory of God, but if you examine the facts, you will find they aim at universal dominion alone. It is they who rule the world. One quote after the other. Moreover, the Pope has thousands of secret agents worldwide. They include the Jesuits, the Knights of Columbus, the Knights of Malta, Opus Dei, and others. The Vatican's intelligence service and its field resources are second to none. Even Dave Hunt, American Baptist historian, says that.
And that means you can't rely on the media as it is today either.
Oh, of course not. All the media in this country, radio, television, and print, is all owned by 5 corporations. All of these corporations that own the media are owned and controlled, and members of the Council on Foreign Relations sit on the board of directors. But you can trace that yourself.
Okay.
Remember, if you go down and you trace the ownership of a station or a newspaper, and you get to a corporation, remember that somebody owns that corporation, and it's usually another corporation. But when you trace the interlocking of all these things, when you get to the top, there's 5. And all journalists know that there's some things you don't write about, and you don't talk about, because you'll lose your job.
It's just a rule, you know, the rules of perception. If they're black, then it's a gang. If they're Italian, it's a mob. But if they're Jewish, it's a coincidence, and you should never speak about it.
And that's where the control is. And that's why they pay anchormen like Dan Rather $2 million a year. Because he doesn't question them. He knows that if he goes against them, he's going to lose $2 million a year. Do you think a man that looks pretty and sits in front of a TV camera for the 6 o'clock news is worth $2 million a year? No way. I don't care how long he works and I don't care what he does. There is no job worth $2 million a year. That's why they pay athletes these fantastic salaries. I was listening to the radio the other day. They just contracted to pay one player on one team $6 million a year. Can you believe this?
And why is that?
It's the Roman circus. What does the emperor do when the people become restive, and when the people are asking questions, and when the people don't like the policies of the emperor? He sends them to the circus. He creates a circus. He builds a giant coliseum. And he begins to throw the Christians to the lions. And he has great chariot races and football games and basketball games, all to keep the idiots preoccupied with things that don't mean anything in the scheme of the entire world, so that they don't have the time to learn what the truth is, so they don't ever get smart enough to learn how they're being manipulated, so they don't ever question the emperor. That's why they pay a player on a football team or a baseball team $1 million or $2 million or $3 million a year. It is the Roman circus. I know men who don't know anything in the world except who plays third base for the Mets. And they think that's a great accomplishment. And they meet and pat each other on the back and bond and go have cocktails and talk about what this guy that plays third base for the Mets did in last night's game. It's sad. It's really sad.
Is there any room in a kind of society where these manipulations are not taking place for this type of entertainment or any type of entertainment at all?
If people understand that a game is a game, if people understand that nobody, no matter what they do, is worth paying $2 or $3 million a year for, people should be able to get rich if they want to, by the sweat of their individual labor. Okay? By going out and doing something for the world. Not by taking people's minds away from the emperor. It's a game. Football's a game. Football's a game. But let me tell you something. When 150 of the most powerful men and women in the world can meet in secret in Baden-Baden, Germany, and plot the fate of billions, and nobody even cares about it, but 6 football players go to lunch together, and it's in the headlines across the country, you have a reflection of the society in which that exists. And it is a sick, sick society that is doomed to self-destruction.
So based on that scenario, there's some truth into what these men are looking at.
Absolutely, and that's what makes me so sick, is that I'm trying to wake up a people who on a daily basis are proving the ones that I'm warning them about to be right.
Well, so that even though a minority, there are people out there that you recognize are awake to this, if they don't do something about it, they will lose that ability to be free in that way.
That's correct.
Whether they might think, well, I don't need to worry about it because I know what I know and I'm fine.
That's
it doesn't
right.
work that way. There's a connection here to everything.
That is correct. That is absolutely correct. A nation of people who are willing to send their sons and daughters that they profess that they love to a foreign country to die, and they use the excuse to themselves that they're sending them off to defend our country, and they know damn well that's a lie, are doomed.
In all of his Jewishness is his absolute candor about the benefits that he receives of being a Semite.
At least he owns it.
And he owns it. He revealed to me, and I did the diligence on it, and this was one of the most shocking things that I ever realized in the world of business. And I have had moments in which I have actually considered bringing on a Semite into my team so I can take advantage of this financial opportunity. The financial opportunity is this. If you are a Semite, you can get 0 interest loans at banks anywhere in America. You just have to tell them. They will go to the back. They will show you, they will bring out a folder, a PDF of how you, as a Semite, can get a loan for your house, a car, extraneous things that you need, a boat, a business, for 0 interest.
Really?
Look it up. I was, when Mari told me this, I was deeply offended. Deeply offended. I have to pay interest on all of my loans. The amount of, I'm a venture capitalist. I deal in millions of dollars of other people's money. Those interest payments are suffocating. If I was a Semite, I would pay 0 interest on all of it. So you tell me, you tell me, are there religious doctrines that are being exacted for the benefit of one people group over everybody else?
I got a question. If you were to go take a picture kissing the wall, can you get in the club?
No.
No.
You have to be a Semite.
Is that the only way?
Do you know how you become a Semite?
What if you get your citizenship? Because I remember watching this clip of Glenn Beck.
You can only be a Semite.
Begging Netanyahu to give him the citizenship. Have you ever seen that clip?
Is Glenn Beck's mother a Semite? Then he's not a Semite. You can look it up. You can only be a Semite if your mother was a Semite.
Correct.
The father, if the father is not a Semite, you're not a Semite.
You have to pay interest.
You have to pay interest. So this, you can look it up. I forgot the Semite word for it, because there's a specific word for it that if you say this word and you're going into a bank,
is it like a code word?
It is. It's a Semite word.
Do you do one of these when you say the word?
Maybe it's just a little bit of this.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious. I'm not lying. You guys can look it up right now.
Actually, I want to see the real term sheet.
Exactly. It's 0. But come on, man. You're an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur. You're a successful business builder. You can do the math, the paper napkin math of how much money you've paid on loans to make your business successful. And there is a reality in which if you were a certain type of people group, you would have paid nothing on those loans. And I would take a gander and say,
if Will was here, we would fact check this, but he's not, so we just accept it as truth.
I'm just gonna leave you with this. I guarantee, if we did back testing on your data and your financials, you probably paid millions of dollars easily. Millions of dollars that you didn't have to pay if you were of the right.
It's so sickening if you think about it.
Yep. I'm gonna look it up right now. You keep talking. I'm gonna look it up.
I don't even know where to go with this. You know what I mean? I'm like pretty upset if you think about it. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the reveal.
Here we go. Hebrew free loans provide members of the Jewish community with 0 interest loans and personalized, confidential, and respectful application process. The Talmud dwells on Ezekiel's condemnation of charging interest, and the Torah and Talmud encourage lending money without interest to Jewish people. Does not apply to Gentiles.
Let me see this.
Telling you, man, there's a word. I was trying to find the secret word, the word that says that you need to go in. But Mari, thank you, my man from decades ago, who let me into this. I was deeply offended, and he just laughed in my face and said, "Hey, you should have just been part of the chosen people."
It's legit.
It's legit.
Wow. Yeah. I did not know that.
Look at this. Non-Jews and loans. They make it clear on you can go to any bank, you can find the hidden links to find this documentation, because they have to have. Yep. If you're a Semite and you go to a bank and you're like, hey, I need to build a house, I need $700,000. They'll look at you and you'll do a little bit of paperwork, and then they'll give you $700,000, 0 interest to build that house.
Do we need one? I mean, now I understand why you're saying, oh, maybe I'll get a Jewish partner.
Yeah, because we can build businesses for 0 interest in perpetuity. So to everyone out there who didn't watch that podcast, I'm going to hearken you back to go watch that podcast where we talked about the fact that global policies, global laws, international laws, banking laws, financial laws are made by humans. These humans are guided by worldviews, religion, and faith. The institutions who run the money lending programs in the world today are, by majority, a certain group of people with a certain faith ideology. And because they run the lending and loan systems and processes and institutions, they are able to give preferential treatment based off of a religious worldview. That should bother you. Aren't we supposed to be in a world where we're supposed to be free of religious and political decision making in business?
Okay. Then,
am I supposed to be discriminatory against you because you're of a different faith or religion? No, that's illegal.
Okay. From the Goyim perspective,
that you are, brother.
It seems messed up.
You are a dirty Goyim.
If from the Jewish perspective, you're like, yeah, we take care of our own. Why don't other cultures and other groups of people do that also?
That's it. Heter iska. That's it. Heter, H-E-T-E-R, heter iska.
I think you got to have a little accent with that. You can't just say it like that because they're going to see right through it.
Here we go. A person who gets a heter iska mortgage is a lot better off financially than a person paying scads of interest to conventional mortgages. Get a free mortgage loan application today for your heter iska loan. This is from a bank. They're telling you, if you want to do heter iska, then you can get interest-free loans. Right there.
Okay, then back to that question.
Heter iska.
If the Jews can do it to take care of their own, why don't other communities or other ethnicities or other countries or other groups of people, why don't they do it amongst themselves?
All right, I guess that's going to wrap up tonight's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I do mean that. It means the world to me. It means everything to a guy like me. You know, I like to joke about the CIA and the PSYOP and all that shit. I know this is just fucking me. So, if you enjoy what I'm doing and you want to support this this one-man show, and you made it this far, so I guess maybe you'd like to help support the content.
Take that mask off. I wanna see what's under them achievements. Why believe you? You never gave us nothing to believe in. Cause you lied about religious views. You lied about your surgery. You lied about your accent and your past tense. All is perjury. You lied about your ghostwriters. You lied about your crew members. They all pussy. You lied on them. I know they all got you in them. You lied about your son. You lied about your daughter, You lied about them other kids that's out there hoping that you come. You lied about the only artist that can offer you some help. Fuck a rap battle. This a long life battle with yourself.
Maybe you'd like to help support the content. You can find the links to do so in the description. And again, there's no pressure, no obligation at all. That's a zero obligation. You just being here is everything. With that said, I'd like to say thank you so much to DogmanStar20, who increased his Patreon to 2,000. I don't know if it's going to be continuous or if it's just temporary or if it's just for 1 month. I don't really care. I just wanted to say thank you very much. It means a lot to myself and to my family, and it's going to help my daughter. And yeah, so thank you very much. It was a very beautiful gesture to, just remind myself, and to keep going. So I appreciate little blessings like that. So I just wanted to say thank you, and that you are appreciated, and you're gonna make me cry. So I'm gonna go. Love ya.
America get this way? Land of promise, land of opportunity. Give us the wretched refuse of your teeming shores. Have a Coke, watch TV.
Have a nice day.
Go on welfare. Get free money. Turn to crime. Crime pays in this
Nobody ever thinks of leaving this country. I do. I think about it every day.
I don't know what.
I'm the last man. I want an 8-foot length of rubber seal with foam backing. This country's going to the dogs. Nobody cares. I just work here. That's the attitude. Buy junk, sell junk, eat junk.
$3.99.
Don't want it.
That's what you asked for.
Who are you working for? The Japanese?
If you don't want it, just say so.
Just said so, Jack. Don't want it. Look, made in Japan. I don't want my hard-earned American dollars converted into yen. I want an American length of rubber seal. Do you work here? All right, we'll get it someplace else. This is not the only place in town. Goodbye. Or maybe I should have said sayonara.
Sayonara.
I actually don't think I've ever gotten over anything. I think I've just accepted things and moved on with my life.
Underground deserve to breathe.
Laughing gas, these hazmats, fast cat, lining them up like ass crack. Ladies, ponies at the track, it's my chocolate attack. Shit, I'm stepping in harder this year. Yeah,